So now we're here looking at our homepage for the one quiz that we just created. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play now. And I have three different devices I'm using. Here's the name of our quiz. And here is the classic mode. If I scroll down, you can see a couple different options that we have. Display pin through the game. To show minimize intro instructions. I recommend keeping both of those on. You can randomize the order of questions. Right now we only have one question in our quiz, which I'm going to change momentarily, but for this section we're just going to leave it as is. You can play the music that Kahoot has, which not all your students are going to love, but if you do turn it off, there is an option to add videos to questions, and those videos can be YouTube videos which will have music. The only consideration with that is if we put a video into our quiz for a certain question, it's going to override the image that we have set up for that question. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the music from Kahoot on right now. And then under advanced options, I would not recommend putting your Wi-Fi details up there for players, and I would not recommend making players rejoin after each Kahoot because that kind of can slow the process down. And then automatically moving through the questions, that would be if you wanted to leave your Kahoot quiz or survey up for students to take without you there as the teacher to kind of advance the questions and stop after each question and ask, different follow-up questions. So I'm going to leave that off, and I'll go ahead and hit Classic. Now, what I want to remind everybody is that over here on the Safari browser page I have open is where I'm going to show you the end user experience, which as you can see is at kahoot.it. So here I am back. I'm going to hit Classic. And I'm going to use three different devices to access this Kahoot. You'll see all I have to do is put in the pin number up here for each of our various user devices. So one device I'm going to use is my smartphone, and I'll call it Player One Phone. So I just logged in, you'll see here, and if, for example, if a student puts an inappropriate name here, you can see that you can very quickly just click on that name and immediately that player went away and it's back to 0 players. So that's one thing, because you are going to be displaying a screen for the entire class or group to see, and you want to make sure that there's no inappropriate names getting put in there. So I'm going to do it again. Player One Phone. Okay, go. There's Player One Phone. Here's going to be Player Two I'll do on my tablet device, which happens to be an iPad, but these will, but Kahoot works for all of these. So I'll put enter here and connecting to Kahoot. And this is my iPad. So here's Player Two iPad. And I'll go over here and put in, this is so everyone on the screen can see our end user experience. So if a student is using a laptop, this is what it would look like, but it looks the same on the iPhone and the tablet that I'm using. And I hit enter. It's going to ask me for, I'll call myself Player 3 laptop. Okay, go. Okay, so this is what you were seeing on my screen, and if I come back to the administrator, this is what the entire group of the class is seeing projected. So I'll go ahead and hit start, and here's just the generic background, which I'm going to show you how to change. Here's the name of our quiz. What is the classification of the image shown here? Now over here, this is what's being projected for the entire class to see. They can see the image of the triangle. You see the time counting down, and you see the 4 different answers: triangle, diamond, circle, and square. Going back over here, I'm going to go ahead and pick the square option. I'll pick the circle on my And you can see on the laptop I got it incorrect. One player got it correct. That happened to be my iPhone device. The iPad and the laptop player got it wrong. And this is what everybody in the class would see. If I want to go back and discuss the question, I can hit that. I'll close that again. I can hit this show image, and it'll re-show the picture that I had displayed on the screen, and we can discuss it in further detail. I do think I would recommend that teachers do this at times, but it can also slow down the flow of a game. So I'll go back here. The next screen I hit as the administrator will show the updated score for all of our players in the game. Kids love seeing this, just to kind of keep track of who's winning and who's losing. And as the quiz continues, obviously we only made one question here, but as the quiz continues, I'll hit end, and it would go advance to the next question. In this case, this is only a one-question quiz. We can see who the winners were, and if we wanted to, we can look at the feedback and results. And the end users over here, this is the end user experience, can say, I give this activity 4 stars, and I learned something, but I wouldn't recommend it, and continue to tell you how I feel. I'll say so-so. And I can do the same thing on my cell phone device and on my iPad. And the teacher can later see the different results, and the whole class can see it as well. Final results, here they are. Okay? And we'll go over a couple of these other options.